A very pleasant and wonderful good afternoon to all. And say good afternoon to everybody. Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome, Benitez family and friends. Longtime friends, new friends. Our event today is truly a collaboration of several Benitezes. Rafi Benitez right here heads the publishing company that produced the book that we are launching today. Phil Benitez, where are you, Phil? He's over there. Wave, wave. Provided us the venue that is named after his father, Mario Benitez. So we are all here at Mario's. If you smell and hear the sound of our barista over there, the special aroma of coffee, that's from Steve Benitez. Where is Steve? Steve, where are you? There. Okay. Oh, who is the head honcho of Bo's Coffee? Yes. And our very special thanks also goes to Willie Benitez. Where is Willie? Right there. Okay. The seventh child of Tomas and Conchita Liboro Benitez for his very generous donation. We need to clap for all of the Benitezes that made this event today. Palakpakan tayo. Sure. So we will have more events like this. Thank you for being here. Today, we celebrate the 175th birth anniversary of Hihinyo. Can everybody say Hihinyo? Benitez, the great-great-grandfather, grandparent of the Benitez clan. Let us join together. Ready na ba ang ating mga waiters for your birthday song? Let us join together in a rousing birthday song. Ayan, papasok ang mga waiters or something like that. Okay. Nandiyan na pala sila. Kala ko may sayaw pa kayo. Okay. Saan po ang music natin? Acapella? Okay, everybody has to join me. Mabagal, mabilis. Anong gusto nyo? Mabagal muna. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Practice lang po yun. May I request the most senior member, nobody will agree to this, member of the Benitez clan to blow the candles, or may I just call back Willie Benitez, Phil Benitez, sino pa? Steve Benitez, Rafi Benitez, para lang sa birthday cake blowout. Come on! Yeah, game tayo, game. Yes. Sige po, punta po dito for the birthday. There's a cake over here. Steve, can you see the birthday? Oh. May I announce the arrival of former Mayor Sonny Belmonte, Congressman par excellence. Palakpakan po natin. Okay, tamang-tama siya. Pang. Asan na? Si Steve, si Willie, si Phil. Phil, can you come over here?
Out of breath.
Yes. It's okay. Oh, how about Rafi? Oh, sila na lang. Okay na lang. Okay, kasi event nito eh. Ninuno nyo yan. Okay, mas mabilis. Pang. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Get one number. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Because it's COVID pre-years, post-years, yeah, ganyan. Happy birthday to you. Clap! Yeah! as we said, we are celebrating the 175th birth anniversary of Higinio Benitez, a tribute to the patriarch. Let me share with you a few facts about the person we are honoring today. Okay, listen to the history because there will be a trivia question later. You might win some sandwiches or the coffee. Okay, Higinio Benitez, again, I said Higinio. Oh, stop. O so paano? Ihinyo. Ihinyo. Everybody say, Ihinyo. Oh, silent H pala yun. Ihinyo Benitez was born on January 11, 1851. Okay, remember that day. January 11, 1851. He was a mestizo Espanyol and the youngest of how many children? 10. Okay, so know the facts. His young life was a series of tragedies. First, his mother, Antonia Ortega, died in his early childhood days, followed by his father, Francisco, some years later on. As an orphan, he was placed under the care of Father Ramon Rodriguez, the rector of Colegio de San Juan de Letran. So what is the Colegio? San Juan de Letran. Yeah. Who is the father? Ramon Rodriguez. Unfortunately, Father Rodriguez died soon after. Even with the deaths of all those who cared for him as a young boy, Higinio pulled himself together, finished a law degree, and became highly accomplished in the legal profession. Who are in the legal profession here? Raise your hand. Ay, ito pala. Okay. At 47 years old, he was chosen as a delegate to the 1898, remember these dates, Malolos Congress, and notarized the document that became the Constitution of the new Philippine Republic. What a history unfolding right now. Inadvertently, this initiated a trend among several Benitezes to partake actively in drafting the other Philippine constitutions that followed, particularly the 1935 and the 1973 constitutions. Higinio became Secretary of the Supreme Court, was a judge in the Land Registration Court, and retired as a judge of the Court of First Instance. Now, I will introduce to you the book, The Story of Higinio, his sons by Soledad Francia, their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren are celebrated in the book we are launching today. The title of the book is Benitez Legacies, which follows the diverse accomplishments of the clan through 5 generations. These are stories that have found their way to aspects of Philippine history as well. This is the book we are launching today. The publisher of the book is Erehworn Art World Corporation, headed by a Benitez as well. Rafael Rivera Benitez. Palakpakan natin si Sir Rafa. The foreword was written by a renowned and multi-awarded writer who is most likely to become a national artist for literature, Dr. Jose Butch Dalisay. Is he here? I know. But when you see him, congratulate him. Okay? Oh, Mrs. Dalisa is here. Where is she? Oh, okay, ma'am. Tayo po kayo to be recognized. Yay! Of course, she's the inspiration. The writer and critique, yes. The writers are in alphabetical order. Amanda de la Cruz, is she here? Wave your hand to be recognized. Cynthia Alberto Diaz, who is also the editor of the book. Cynthia! Over there, palakpakan natin. Cynthia. Portia Placino, is she here? Yes, Portia. Hi, Portia. Regina Sampson, of course. There, she's over there. In blue. And Chuck Smith. Is Chuck here? Oh, he's on his way. The book designer is Willie De Vera. Willie, are you here? Where's Willie? There, right there, Willie. And the photographers are J. Vincent Duque, right there, doing my video. And Donato Alvarez. Where's Donato? Okay, on his way. In charge of the book production process is Grace Panagitan. Where is Grace? Say hi to Grace. She's doing the book sales over there. She needs to have sales. In the book, you will see how many members or how members of the Benitez clan connect together in a tree of relationships. Illustrated here, if you can look over here, illustrated by Maria Antoinette Cox. Right there. It's the tree of relationships. This particular artwork will be donated to Willie Benitez. Where is Willie? Yes. And he in turn will display it at the Miranila Heritage House. Very good. Now, this part is important. May I call on members of the clan to share their own narratives about being a Benitez, starting with the most handsome. Okay. Jofilo Phil Benitez, whose restaurant, Mario's, is also part of the Benitez Legacies, has researched a lot of the family and shall now share with us many interesting facts. Here you go.
Thank you very much.
Emlyn.
Welcome to Mario's, everybody. And this is the first time that I've seen a lot of Benitez's in one place. The last time I think was in Milanita, maybe 30 years ago, when Tita Helen would organize these reunions of the Benitez's, which included the Ortegas from the north and the Fuentebellas from the south. We were the middle, the Benitez's from Pagsangan and Cavite. Anyway, I'm here to say a little bit about our branch, who is Elogio Francia Benitez, known as Oyong. You will hear the other nicknames later on. Anyway, his name was Oyong, and he was one of three Benitez brothers who were called the Pensionados. This was after the Americans took over in 1898. They subsidized or gave scholars to children of many prominent families in the Philippines so that they could study abroad in the U.S. And they went to, my grandfather went to Georgetown University. And he took up his Master of Laws because he graduated law in UP in Diliman. So anyway, he finished his Master of Laws at Georgetown, came back in 1918, and in 1919, he decided to run for the Philippine Assembly, which is the progenitor for the now Philippine Congress. But this, in 1919, was the first all-Filipino Congress of the Philippines, because previous to that, it was composed mostly of Americans who were our colonial masters at that time. So anyway, Lolo Oyong ran for Congress, and he stayed there till before the start of World War II. I had some photographs that I didn't have time, but I sent it to Rafi at another time Conrad, my cousin, sent it to me one time, and he asked me if I could identify some of the people. One of his friends, his house, her ancestral house, was being torn down in Paco, and they were throwing away a lot of stuff, and they didn't know whose photographs these were. So he gave it to Conrad because he noticed Lolo Conrado was there. These were photos of the Constitutional Convention in 1934 when they were drafting the Constitution, the first Commonwealth Constitution. And lo and behold, Lolo Oyong, Conrado, Elohio was there with Lolo Conrado. Because Lolo was the secretary of the Congress at that time in 1934. So I was very amazed that there is two Benitez brothers helping each other in 1934. This is the time of Quezon. So I guess through the years, these three Benitez brothers, together with Lolo Seferino, the eldest, and the youngest was Lola Antonio, Lola One, were a very tight-knit family. Because I remember growing up as a young person, Tita Helen wanted me to run as mayor of Pagsanghan. But I was a hippie in those days. In the early 70s. I was from Woodstock. And I said, Tita Helen, I don't think I can do it. So I left and continued my studies abroad. But anyway, the only one who took after Lolo from Congress was Tita Helen, who eventually became a senator of the Philippine Senate. So that's all I need to say about Lolo Oyo of Benitez Brothers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, to share with us her own stories is Purissima Petty Benitez Johanot. I hope I pronounced that well. Who is founding archivist and curator of the Miranila Heritage House and Library. Please welcome Petty.
I thank, first of all, Rafi Benitez, our cousin, who initiated all of this and organized all the writers and the research. And so we're looking forward to discovering about ourselves in this book. We opened up Miranila for the public, and this was the fervent wish of Helena, one of the three children of Conrado. So I've been tasked to speak about Conrado, and so I will try to get, I'm a teacher at UP, and I go with PowerPoints when I speak. So I'll show you pictures, and I will have the pictures tell more stories than I can put words to it. Maybe I can get someone to turn this on. So Conrado was born in 1889, in November 17, 1889. He was the second among the sons of Soledad Francia with Eugenio Benitez. He was born in Pagpanghan. As Phil said, they were a tightly knit family. Sometime in 2018, Bebet, my sister here, and our administrator now, Delia Pineda, found a bundle of letters behind one of the cabinets in the master bedroom, in the bedroom of Conrado and Francisca. And what it contained were 24 letters of Conrado to Francisca between I believe, February to September of 1912. And it was when Conrado came back from 6 years being in Chicago as a pensionado like Lolo Oyong. And it was urging Francisca to get on and tell her parents that they were going to get married. So Francisca herself had taken the exam for pensionados and had passed, but she was not permitted to go because her parents found out that Conrado also passed. He graduated valedictorian and she graduated salutatorian, and there was very tight competition, but there was also some romance. And the parents knew that, so she was not permitted to go, and she instead stayed back to work with the Philippine Normal School. Thank you. I was doing this last night and yesterday, and so the images stumbled around. I apologize. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I can skip that. It's giving a lot of problems. And so it goes. If you're interested, I did excerpts of that. But what it showed me was what glued this family together was that love between Francisca and Conrado. And the ever-abiding loyalty of Conrado supporting Francisca in what she was aiming to do. So if I read to you the whole CV of Conrado, I was kind of astounded, but I actually knew very well that he was always solidly behind his wife. And so she herself was an achiever. And what came out of that union were four children. Okay, one of them passed away. So three children. Helena was the eldest, and then Tomas came. It's okay, we won't, yeah. I think the files were very heavy for the PowerPoint, so it's a table. At the cable, okay. So what came out of that was not just the union and the children, but many grandchildren, um, and after that, institutions. Okay, they were both committed to building nationhood, building pride in being Filipino. And this was the norm, I think, for many of those who had the privilege of going as pensionados to the United States. He was tagged as an Americanist. I mean, historiographers would call Conrado an Americanist, but I had discussions with my brother-in-law. He was more an internationalist. And so he was really trying to get the Philippines out there in the international conversation and to be seen and respected as a nation coming up into the world, no? Separating themselves. So I urge you perhaps to come to Miranila one time and hear his story, because one of the entities that came out of the union was also their home, which now houses many of this memorabilia. I'm an art historian, and for me, objects have stories. And so when you go around Miranila, we tell you stories about the house, the family, and how nationhood followed in the development of that house from 1929 all the way to today. Um, Conrado also was a big believer in farming and in farmers. And so he was one of the founders of the Philippine Rural Reconstruction Movement, which is the oldest NGO still existing today. He started that in 1957 with Dr. Y.C. Chen from Taiwan. He also was co-founders of IRI, International Rice Research Institute, in the 50s, which is also continuing now. So his belief in the countryside and the value of what the farmers can bring to the nation was very strong, because after the war, he felt there was so much devastation in Manila, but we mustn't forget about the farmers in the countryside. And so he did that. He also had, I call this a story of, or a legacy of gladness, because whatever he put his hand into, he did with a cheery disposition. And people who remember him and know him knew he was doing what he was doing with gladness. That's what I remember of him. I had asked my siblings to share what they remember of him, and it was in my PowerPoint. My sister had a single, you can do it, yeah? The next one. Okay, so he had three children. You know, I mentioned it to you, and then their wives. This is terrible. Nagkabali-baliktad. Okay, maybe we can go to the next one. This was the next generation. I would fail me if I was a teacher in this classroom for not having learned it in advance. Okay, so this is the generation of the two brothers of Helena. Okay, we were 9 in my family, and there were 4 in the family of Mariel and Marco and their Ninuno. Okay, next go. Okay, so they left as legacy Miranila. I just wanted to show like a factoid that Miranila was used only twice by filmmakers. They're very low key, Francisca and Conrad. They didn't want their house to be used for movies. So the only thing that they said yes to was to LVM Studios. They couldn't say no to the Leons. And so Satur was filmed there. So you have Lamberto Avellana here. And Satur was made in 1951. And there were 3 what we recognize now as national artists who did that. Directed by Lamberto Avellana, and then Manuel Conde, okay, a national artist also, who starred in it as Satur or Mephistopheles, you know, it's that kind of story, who sold his soul to the devil. And then you had Bottom Francisco, who did the sets and the costumes. So all these guys were filming outside Miranila. They were not permitted inside. They could use the house as a backdrop. So if you look on YouTube, there will be instances where you see the house. The whole story revolves around the house, but it's not inside the house. The second movie that was filmed there, another fun fact was um, by Sampaguita, this LDN, that was Sampaguita, and they couldn't say no to the Vera Perez. It was called Snooki. From the 80s, not Snooki. It wasn't a consequential film like this one. It was their Christmas presentation. So there, 2 movies that were filmed in Miranila. Can we have the next one? Um, Conrado was also a farmer himself, or a gentleman farmer. So they had 2 farms, one in Laguna, Mabitak, it's called Pugadlawin. It's still there now. And then the other was in Dasmariñas, Cavite, which is now the orchard. There's a larger uh, property there, and a small part of it was turned over to the orchard. I had those pictures here, they disappeared. Okay, next please. So yeah, those were 100-year-old mango trees, okay, that you were seeing, because my father must have been about 10 years old then when he was planting. And then 3 people influenced, you know, as the stories come through my way, I saw very clearly 3 people, 3 men who influenced his career very much. The first would be Jose Abad Santos. They were pensionados together. The second would be Manuel Quezon. And the third would be Henry Otley Bayer. Okay, maybe we can go to the next one. I mean, through his career. So MLQ had a daughter, Baby Quezon, who was the bestie, or a very good friend of Helena. And also, in one of the foraging of Bebet and Belia, they found letters between Baby Quezon to Helena, and it was life in Malacanang from 1937 to 1939. And she describes how her life was as first daughter. If you can imagine, that was the Commonwealth. They were the first Filipino families to live in Malacanang. She was so naughty, and her mind was really amazingly free, you know, or maybe that's the way she wrote to Helena, because she would share her inner secrets, people she detested, people she loved. You know, it was I would say one day that should go into our national archives, because it shows an 18-year-old living in Malacanang and observing how things were around her. And I show this because this is MLQ, that's Helena. That is Frank Murphy. He was the last High Commissioner in the Philippines before Commonwealth. That's Colonel and Mrs. McMeeking. You know, Colonel McMeeking married Mercedes Sobel de Ayala, and together they developed Makati. So this was a dinner given by Frank Murphy for MLQ, and President Quezon called Helena to come over and celebrate with them because it happened June 27 on her birthday, and he knew that. So over here, that is Conrado. He was put in the next table, but you can see a little bit of him. So that she's sitting in the place of honor, which is wonderful. And I have a letter from Helena to MLQ. She had copied it out, thanking him very much for a wonderful birthday, the best birthday she could ever imagine. So you can see the closeness. And in fact, MLQ writes her back a few months later, saying why he felt a closeness to Conrado. And that's the point of bringing it up. When Conrado came back from his pensionado days, 1906 to 1911, they were on the same ship. And he and MLQ got along so well that MLQ, when he came back, made him part of the Malacanang staff, and he was assistant executive secretary. But after tasting maybe a year of that, he decided, no, my destiny is with education. So he refocused and he went to teach and work in UP instead. But if he wanted to, he could have followed a career, with the executive branch. Thank you. Ayan na naman. Conrado as educator and historian. Oh dear. Okay. So next. So that was when he went to Chicago, and here that's Frank Murphy, and then there is Conrado with wreath around his head, and with a big arco at the back, and I couldn't understand, what did he win a horse race? Did he win some award? And then I found out, as pensionados, they are paraded to get into their ship. It's like a huge thing every year. They're celebrated. So I'm assuming 1906, he was one of the first, because they started that a few years before, and they continued that tradition. So he was walking through an arch to go to the boat. Okay. And here, it was in the vault of Helena, the memorabilia of Conrado. That's how close they were. It was a father-daughter kind of relationship. And she kept there the citation of the University of Chicago of Conrado as being an outstanding alumni. They had a special award for him, not just like any honor, but really outstanding, meaning that they were really very proud of him. So she kept that because she knew that was important to him. Thank you. Next, please. Conrado, before 1913, after he came back from the U.S., joined the Far Eastern Olympics at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. The reason why they opened up the Rizal Memorial Stadium, they inaugurated the Olympics, Far Eastern, and he won 3 gold medals, and that would be for swimming, 40 yards, 100 yards back, and 160 yards relay.